what just happened. All right, hopefully as soon as we get all goofed up. What's up, everybody?
Yes. It's good to be back together.
Good thing I don't care about my hair, because I've been having this headset on for 12 hours today.
But that beard, though.
That beard, though. Got the glasses back. Looking like a Viking nerd. Let's go.
Let me tell you, today when I went to get coffee, this place is by our house. I haven't been there in a couple weeks. And there's a couple that runs the place. And I don't see the husband that often, but he referred to me as like the woman that's with the guy with the fantastic beard. I was like, nice to meet you there, buddy. I know the beard.
That's funny.
I was like, yeah.
What's up, Brenda?
Hey, guys. So,
right. Happy Saturday. Let's do this.
Yeah, we're back together.
Yeah, I missed you.
Yeah, I missed you. I missed you.
Not the same. It was not the same when you were just on the little phone call thing.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. So, here we are. Happy Saturday evening. What do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do a little praise before you guys get in there. We just had an awesome session with one of our groups today. Our guys are doing so strong, so I'm so proud of our guys. And so it was good. It was really powerful. Had some big breakthroughs, some really good awareness moments, and some really. It's really great watching guys find there's a place that they can they test it out, because all of us have our armor on. We all have our armor on through the day. And I'd say men and women. Everybody has their armor on through the day, where just shots fired, people taking cheap shots at you. What's up, Isaiah? I see you, kid. Where life just hits you. It could be something, some judgment somebody said, some passive aggressive statement, something that somebody was trying to hurt your feelings on. People get, we just get hit all day with stuff. And so we have our armor on. And so when you're around new people, it's natural for everybody to be like, I'm gonna hang back and I'm gonna chill out for a little bit. And so now we're a couple weeks in and people are starting to let the armor down.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see the camaraderie and the guys being able to go man, finally I can breathe around some people without feeling like I'm gonna get hit. So it's really good.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I can't see what it says. The love guy or the lover guy. I can't see what it says. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, it was a little reckless today. I had to give it some extra love. It was out of control today.
Looks good. It looks good. So, it's been really great to hear a little bit, about the guys that are in this group together. And I love that the group that you have it's the group of men working together on their own individual stuff, but then also coming back and supporting each other is fantastic. So
one hell of a guy. I like it.
I like it.
Cool name. That's a cool name. Having a racing... That's the raccoons in the ceiling. Don't worry about it.
So feel free to ask questions tonight.
Racing thoughts around my PTSD. And it depends, bud. This is for Chris. Looks like Chris Bergs something. All right, Chris, listen, when it comes to PTSD stuff, there's a couple different factors that come in. And this is when I talk to guys. There are different forms of PTSD, and there's different things that I've seen guys have to go through. One form is misdiagnosed. People think it's PTSD because they keep having bad visions of what it is, or they just get triggered by things. Some of this we can work through with training. Some of it we actually do address. Then there are certain traumas that are so deep inside of us that it requires a lot of work to overcome. You never really get over it, but you learn how to be able to be okay with it. You learn to be, and I guess not okay with it's the wrong word, but you learn how to almost control or cope with it or accept it. And it's a little deeper. It's a little harder to do. So I'd have to know more about you and what you've been through, Chris, to be able to work through what it is that you're working on. So book a call with us. I'll spend some time with you, man. I'll hang out with you. I'll hear your story, and we'll see if whether the way that we can do through our group works, or we can work through some of the stuff where it's really, really intense, and that's a little bit different. Some of the stuff is a little bit tougher.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So husband is a Vietnam combat vet, 100% disabled from PTSD. Some of the stuff that guys have seen, you can't unsee.
Yeah.
You just can't unsee, and it's living nightmares. Even stuff we had with like with deaths in our families and stuff that we've gone. I can't unsee some of the stuff that like I've had family members die in my hands. Like I can't unsee it from my brain. And there's things like that there's different levels of coping that you have to have, and the most you can really do sometimes is just have people who understand your pain, because you can't really unsee it.
Yeah.
So it's a different thing. There are certain guys who have just been like beat up growing up or abused growing up that we can work through those things. But when it comes to some of the stuff, the it's fear and it's terror, and there's some things that they just can't cope with on their own. So you have to be with a teammate. You have to make people get it.
So the link is at the top of the page, and if someone's asking for the phone number, if you click the link at the top, you can schedule an appointment. Just click on the date that works best for you, and for us, and then you can have a talk. So
yeah, the stuff where like it says, like Shelly says, she got choked out. The VA seems to think that that's normal. There's a few factors here. I know that people won't like the generalization that I make here, and it doesn't matter if you like it or not. It's kind of what happens. There are people who are attracted to certain people, and there's people, especially today, who they don't understand what people are going through, and especially that lack of empathy towards guys. Sometimes there's a lot of you women will be with a guy who has been taught to be a killer. He has been broken, the beautiful boy that he was. It had to be removed for him to go to war. It had to be removed for him to be able to protect the men he's with and to go into battle and to be able to do what he needs to do to survive. And then there's a degree where you think that a guy's going to come back who hasn't been trained to be a killer to survive. He's been in actual hell, like explosions and friends dying and bloodshed and killing. They've been in real hell, and then come home, and sometimes in the conversation when you should be pulling back, you just keep pushing like he's a regular dude. And sometimes when you're arguing with lions, they bite you. You just, sometimes people don't understand that it's not a normal society guy anymore. He's got to learn how to be able to be regular again. And that is insanely difficult to do for these guys, because the boy that they were before they went in, that we gotta
Sure.
slow it down a little bit here, because this one will harm you if you become a threat.
Right, but I think it's not that maybe that they don't back down, because some people will push, but I think it's just having the awareness and the understanding of what that process could be like. And for people that have went to war and then come back a different person, you were dealing with a completely different person. So it's being able to you're never going to understand it, but being able to change your way of being in a relationship with that person, to be able to make sure there is some type of understanding. So maybe the way that you used to push before is not the way that you should push now.
No,
because people are different. I seriously can't even imagine. My heart goes out to the vets and also the spouses of the vets. It's so hard.
And the thing that you guys have to work on is just your communication style has to be changed from the stuff that like, this is how I was raised, or this is how I grew up, or this is what I'm used to doing, or this is what I think things should be. That stuff doesn't matter. None of that matters when you're with somebody who the humanity had to be removed, and now he's trying to build his humanity back up. But there's still a person in there who will fight to the death, and they're made to do it. And so when it comes to that type of PTSD, you almost have to also, like him, learn a new language in order to communicate. You can't do what you always did, because that guy can't hear that anymore. And it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really tough for guys to be able to do that.
Chris is like, my husband doesn't even know who he is anymore. It's been rough.
Imagine being him. He's like a young man with Alzheimer's. Like, it's not easy.
It's heartbreaking.
He's
it
like,
really
who
is.
the hell am I?
Yeah.
He doesn't see things like he used to see. I remember I had some good friends that went into the Marines even, and they were like just the sweetest souls, just the nicest guys ever. And they came back after training. And I remember we were at like just a regular party, and he was sitting at a table. One of the guys was sitting at a table, and the guy went through and just like bumped the table like that. He wasn't like against him, just was walking by and happened to bump the table, like, just goofing around. Before this guy who bumped the table took 2 steps, That guy who I ran track with and did sports with, and I knew from growing up, like who'd never even been hostile to anybody, had his shirt off and was in that guy's face in 2 seconds. What the fuck, bro? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's like, what? Just he just bumped the table. Hold on a second. Like, everybody had to pull him back, but it's because they make you be what you need to be to win. And if you become a threat, they will win.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a
And
new language to learn to not be threatening to somebody who is made to do that. Now, if
um,
some fool decides to walk in your house the wrong way, you're going to be happy that that
yeah.
lion is there.
And
But when it comes to you attacking or being too aggressive or not being able to
yeah.
communicate through him, it gets hostile very fast.
Yeah, and Crystal, and I agree with you. I've had some friends that females that have dated or have been married to vets, and some unfortunately had to end the relationship because they weren't able to cope or deal. And to your point, sometimes it is taken out on the people that are closest to you. And that's tough. And I think my hope is for people that are in these dynamics to be able to learn and to be able to help their partner kind of go through it and find out what you can do to also help support them in this journey, because gosh,
Yeah.
that's tough.
For some of you guys who are out there with this, there is a level that I do help with guys with this. What's up, Phil? Let's see you, bud. There is a level that as it gets down in, like I can get guys to a certain point who have been through some pretty tough PTSD stuff, been through killing,
Yes.
been through suicide, been through like
Yeah.
difficult moments. I can help a lot of those guys. There is a level that goes so deep that it's they need a professional in just that one field for PTSD. So for guys who are like just struggling to try to get back into like civilian life and trying to find themselves again, I can work with those guys.
Yeah.
The guys who just see red everywhere, they have to be able to go to somebody who
More
helps with that
extensive.
thing.
Yeah. And we were just talking about this. I think it's Jules' journey. Is alcohol makes it even uglier, and there is in the relationships I was talking about with my friends and their spouses, it has been alcohol that has been a huge trigger in almost all of their dynamics, that has triggered more of an aggressive response.
Well, you got to remember something. Alcohol falls under distraction. So denial is in the piece where I can't accept reality. And the best way to try to deal with denial, because you can't go through the reality of what things are because it's so damn painful, is you go into distractions. So people will do what they have seen. We have multiple times beaten alcoholism, multiple times. And we have proven it's not a disease and it's not like you're born, it's not genetic. I have guys who almost drank themselves to death who they don't do that anymore. But we have always linked it back to there's behavior in the family that would turn to drinking whenever things got tough. And so it was trained behavior just from seeing it from uncles or grandpa or dad or mom or whoever. So when these guys come back, and it could even be trained from the people they were around growing up or whatever, to try to distract from the amount of pain that they have inside of themselves, they will drink. They will drink to forget. They will drink to not feel it. They will drink to have even a moment of being happy. Because even in high school, before I went off to this, we used to get fucked up and have a good time. And that I just want something to feel good for a damn minute. And when they get into that mode, it knocks the walls down that keeps the demons at bay. And when the demons come out, when that thing inside that doesn't have restraint anymore, when the cage gets broken open, you don't know what's going to come at you. So drinking very quickly. We just had this week a guy where the drinking went too far and it went right into the demons were coming, and him and I were talking through that night. I had to talk him down. These things are scary when they come out, and once you learn how to face them, he dumped all his alcohol the next morning. He
Yeah.
learned. We went through some pretty tough stuff that night, and these are my vets. He's 21-year vet. So these are some guys who have been through some actual hell, and if you don't know how to get to them,
Yeah.
they will do harm, and that's all they know. You know,
Yeah.
they're trying to get back into
I
being
know.
being civilian again. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
Let's see, extra ego state. Let's
It is
see.
warrior was born in combat. I'm a therapist. I find combat vets have an extra ego state.
Not always. I believe that there are some guys that do. I can't say it's a staple. I think that there's two different kinds. There's guys that want to prove themselves, and sometimes they haven't seen as much combat. But then there's guys who are just broken, broken and more in survival state, more trying to just not get hurt anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a little different. It's
And-
you call it orcs, not demons. That's funny.
And maybe in transitioning into what it is that you do, you help men, and someone just made a comment about just the support they have, and that's one thing I love about what you do is you help men, because a lot of men do feel alone. A lot of men do feel like they can't go to their spouses or they can't go to other people. So again, it's about support and surrounding yourself with people that are truly going to be there for you.
Yeah, homicidal manic. That is what it's called.
Yeah.
But people, I don't like to. I try when I work with my men not to diagnose things like this, only because they start to get stuck
Yeah.
in their belief system that there's
Yeah.
something wrong with them. A lot of times, if you believe that you aren't what they call you, then you're able to be what you believe you are able to be.
Yeah.
So, we all have our different styles. Maybe that works better for you.
Yeah.
Oh, and for the guy
So-
who asked, no, we're not swingers. We don't do that.
We're not
This is my girl. I'm her guy. That's how we roll.
I don't like to share.
She's
I
not a sharer.
would not share. No.
We're good. I
The question
agree.
comes up a lot. I'm like, I don't.
Hey, I guess people want to do us. What are you going to do?
Okay, so let's maybe transition.
Sure. Give me a segue. Give me a segue.
I'm not good at segues. So I try to write down questions as we're going through so we can go back and answer. And I guess we need more questions. So shout out to Russell. If Russell's still on, I did see your comment. And I want to shout you out. 25 years of sobriety. And that is absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
That's
congrats.
fantastic.
Good choices.
Yeah.
And I hope you're doing really well with it, too. That's such a good thing. So it's good to have your days and nights back and not throw up every day.
Yeah.
That's
I internalize way too much, even though I have support systems. How can I improve?
Depends on how you're doing it. There's certain people who their superpowers, which is having a high imagination, a high creativity, that gets away from them. There's training that we do for this to make it so people can control their abilities that they have. A lot of times people's strengths are untrained, and so when they start running away, their ability to be able to create alternate realities with a high imagination and a high creativity can turn into anxiety and turn into fear and turn into things that make it so it starts lighting up all of the feelings about the make-believe realities that they're making. That's where a lot of anxiety comes from, is stuff that could maybe possibly happen but usually never does. When I train my guys to do this, I train them to live through those, but then also be able to learn from each one of those experiences. It takes training, though. It's not like a one-day thing. This takes weeks to do. And when I really train with these guys, there's a lot of repetition and a lot of stuff. So the overthinking is really just you have an overactive imagination/creativity system, and if you don't have it under control, it'll easily control you. Yeah. But if you control it, you can learn lessons way faster than most people and be prepared for the most likely outcome that could go wrong, which, can we be real, almost never does. It never happens.
Yeah.
That's how fear works. It's
Yeah.
possibility of something that may or may never happen, but usually it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not real.
Someone said they got halfway through the ebook and made me sit and journal about myself and feelings. That's fantastic.
Proud of
It's
you.
so great to
You're
hear.
doing it right.
Yeah.
Just to give you guys some insight too, I run into guys a lot of times who give me that funny look when I tell guys you got to journal. I mean, do you see me journal?
I woke up this morning. This guy is up. Sometimes I'm like, do you even sleep? But I got up this morning and he's at the kitchen table, literally a notebook, another book, a book, and he's just writing and writing and writing, like hat on backwards, like going in. Yeah, he writes a lot. Yeah.
The thing I found, and I learned this a few years ago, it's been quite a few years ago, but I learned when you start reading through the greatest minds of history, when you start reading through who are the greatest people that we've all put up as like, these are the people who have taught us the most, the scholars, what was it, not psychologists, but philosophers, your philosophers and your Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius's book, and you start going through some of the greatest writing of all time, and you realize all of the men who were the greatest leaders, the men who were the most inspirational, these men all journaled. They all write. Roosevelt, like you start going through just name after name of all these men who wrote. And so as, my men, when I train my men, we all write because we compartmentalize these things, but sometimes it gets all messed up. You gotta pour it out of you. But you'll learn yourself when you start writing. And it's one of the more liberating and more awareness driven things that our guys do is when you really start like taking all that noise in you and sorting it out, and then you're like, man, I almost feel like lighter through the day.
Yeah.
So
and sometimes you're able to answer your own questions as you're writing too, and just get the thoughts. It helps to clear the mind and kind of just
Did you get
reset.
Sawdude's thing?
Yeah, he said my girlfriend's love language is touch and being told that I love her. Any advice? Do that.
Yeah, Russell, I hear you.
Do that. If those are her love languages and you love her, try to do the best you can in fulfilling those love languages for her. Tell her you love her.
Don't reject each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do some journaling. If you've been writing, let's see. Journaling is one of my favorite outlets. Yeah, by far. It helps. I do multiple outlets because I have to. I got 5 girls here, so I have to be stoic all the time. But no, I make sure I get a good workout in and I write.
Yeah.
And those are 2 things that really help me out a lot. So, but yeah, I woke up even at 3 in the morning. I woke up this morning and I was writing. And a lot of times I get really inspired in the middle of the night.
Yeah. When I was going through my divorce and, custody stuff with my kids and all that stuff, it really helped me just to be able to get it out, put it on there. What's so funny about that?
Russell said he had four girls. What do we do wrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
We prayed for patience. That's what we messed around with. You prayed for patience, and now they'll give you 4 girls.
Yeah.
I apologize, baby. I was only half listening to what you said. I got Russell distracted me.
It's totally fine.
We
Totally
got people
fine.
writing.
Totally fine.
We're in 3 things at once.
Yeah.
I apologize.
That's okay.
Listen,
as
baby,
a wife,
baby, I'm not trying to treat you like that.
As a wife, how do I keep my husband? I guess he suffers from anxiety and feeling lonely.
I don't know what part he's feeling lonely for, but there's something that he's missing, and it might not even be you. It's hard to say. Everybody's got a different source where their loneliness has come from, so I don't really know. I'd have to know your guy a little better to be able to kind of guide which direction you get. Like, where's the missing piece? So in this one, it's kind of like my car's making a weird noise. What's wrong with it? And you're like, I'd have to hear the car before I could really diagnose which direction to go.
Yeah.
So I'd need more information. So book a call. If you go up, also you can talk with one of my top guys. Is Eddie? He's on our podcast. You can listen to him. He's so sharp and so smart, and his awareness is level 10. He's got appointments open this month. I'm booked out through June, but he's got some appointments. And if you want someone who's solid to talk to, he's my number 1 guy for these conversations. So.
And just to let you guys know how it goes, and I saw the comment about just writing it out. Sometimes you do need, or it does help to have someone else's opinion or point of something that can challenge you in a positive way. And so, when he's saying like scheduling an appointment is free. Mm-hmm. It really is. And typically they're it'll say 45 minutes when you sign up, but they are an hour because he'll keep you on the phone for about an hour. But even if it's not a right fit for the program, that's not what you're looking to do, at least you get an hour of some really great time and insight. So. Yeah,
I've had a lot of guys who either they can't afford it or they aren't the right fit for it, but I've never had any calls ever where guys get off and say I didn't get anything out of this. Like there's always even if it's just to be heard. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Phil knows. Like sometimes it's just good to have somebody listen. Someone who actually isn't mixed up with all of your friend groups who can really you can just unload. Yeah. And not be blamed, shamed, or judged for it. So it's pretty nice too. Yeah. I gotta move Peter Venkman here. It looks like I got look, if I sit like this, looks like I got alfalfa thing going here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Venkman's head. Who are you gonna call?
Yeah, these calls are free. Yeah, and if it's
that's why
like
we're
I said,
out.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Booked out through June, and this happened very fast for us on TikTok. It's been something he's been doing for a long time. But one thing that I do know. I don't listen. Our offices are right next to each other. Our desks are right next to each other, and I don't hear the men talk or anything like that. It's not my business either. I also wouldn't know what to do. It'd be like, let's support and encourage them. But it's interesting from a female point of view, and knowing the guys that are in this group with him and that have each other's backs and are there to support them. I do talk to some of the spouses, the wives, because the part that I will play in it, if there is a need, is to be able to make sure that the wife or the girlfriend or the significant other is showing her guy like the encouragement that he needs, the support from a women's point of view too, because we want to see our men win. And it's interesting when I sit from my desk and I see the start of the call and you see the facial expressions on a guy's face where you can see hurt and pain. And at the end of that 45 hour, at the end of the hour, I don't know, say 45 minutes anymore, at the end of the hour to see just like this sense of relief, like the shoulders go down, there's a little bit more smiling happening. Man, it just, every single time, it's freaking great. It really is. And I'm very proud of this guy for that, because within 15 minutes, I will tell you, he will be able to give you a recap of what the issue is and how you need to work on it within 15 minutes. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it. So a little bit of praise for you. This guy is the most talented person I have ever met when it comes to nailing people. Like, not nailing people.
I'm not nailing people.
Yeah,
We're not
that's what I want.
we already went over that.
But being able to identify with guys and say, this is the thing, and calling it out, but then also giving the tools and the resources with a group of other men to help them move forward. It's fucking great.
Thank you, baby. Thank you, Phil. I see you guys talking.
Yeah, Phil's been on. Yeah.
I've talked to Phil.
Yeah.
I'll have to check in with you too, Phil, see how you're doing. I know you've been moving forward. I just want to see how you're doing on it.
So good.
Yeah. Appreciate you. That was very sweet.
Yeah. Proud of you.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Someone's about to get mauled in a second. We're about to have to turn this off. Some people are like, no, leave it on.
Oh my God, no.
Like, you freaks.
No. No, I don't want to do that. I'm a lady. I'm a lady. Oh my gosh. Okay. What other questions you guys got for us? Trying to think what other ones. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Everybody's good.
Everyone's fixed. It's so silly.
Yeah. From a girl's perspective, what is the average amount of time to wait to meet his kids? So, you want to go?
No, you got the kids. Go for it.
It's hot in here today. So, this is what I will tell you.
There's a giant light on our face.
Yeah, maybe. So, what I will tell you is, from my opinion, and me having to go through this, if you're in a committed relationship for at least 6 months, I would say 6 months to a year is a safe bet. If you feel like this is your person, like I think we're going to be together, then do it. I've had that not happen on the girl's dad did not do that, and it creates a lot of trust issues with kids. So my advice is to try to wait as long as you can. And make sure that you're in a committed relationship. I
don't know about that. I'm gonna go the other way with it. I think the 6 months is fair.
Yeah.
I think a full year is a pretty long time. The reason why I'm gonna come from the stepdad point of view. The reason why is because when you choose somebody,
I see what you're saying. I'm gonna answer
also choose the kids too, and you have to understand that this is like you guys are a good, safe place for each other. I think 6 months is a reasonable amount, but you also have to have a relationship that you know that person. But if you're with somebody for a year, like it's almost going to be even weirder at this point, because now we have an established 1 year relationship dynamic.
That's fair. Yeah.
And now we're going to add kids to it.
Yeah, everybody's different. Yeah. I would say at least 6 months. Yeah.
I'd say within 6, like depending on like how good is that connection, that conversation has to have already been happening. Like, how do we work together? What's our best way to be? Like, if you're going to be a stepmom or a stepdad situation, are you prepared for this kind of thing? Like, there's a lot to it. And so I think you guys have to have a real open dialogue about it before you even introduce kids. If you're with somebody who doesn't want to be with kids at all.
Right. Well, and then I want to get back to the other thing she said. So she said, it's almost been a year, and I don't know, it sounds like you have not met his kids. It's almost been a year. Could be a red flag. Have you been to his house? Are his kids stuff there? Like, I have lots of questions. So
because his
Ex will freak out. That
Well, what are you going to do for long term here?
yeah.
Let me just be real. Like, here's the thing I think people don't consider. What if you win? Like, what does this look like if you stay? Like, what does it look like? The ex will freak out if you meet the kids. Like, what does the future look like for 5 years or 10 years with somebody who they get to dictate everything you guys as adults are allowed to do because they'll freak out? Like, this is temper tantrums. What are you supposed to do with the rest of your life when you're investing into somebody who you're worried over the asshole freaking out? Like, you can't live your life that way. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
If you're going to be with somebody, you're part of the team. And if you have somebody whose freakouts are going to make you not be a part of the team, and somebody who's scared of the freakout, making it so they can't put faith in you, what does long-term look like?
Yeah.
What does it look like? Because you're always on eggshells over somebody's emotional temper tantrum.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's a very awesome looking future if you're looking at, like, we got to be on eggshells for your ex-wife. Sorry. You know, if she has a bad day, she makes a lot of noise. Like, so what?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
I can't imagine my ex trying to tell me the way that I should live my life with my kids. I can't. Like, there has to be some level of, like, respect. Yeah, not with you. He won't mess with Rick. Sometimes he jumps on, too. So we may or may not see him. But, yeah, did I do that with him. Now him and I have had to have some conversations because he's done some things that have not been in the best interest of the kids. But we do now, he has that 6 months that he now says that he's holding on to before he introduces the kids. So,
Which
I mean,
has just been better. Better teamwork.
It has.
Everyone's doing better now. We had to go through some pretty tough bumps, though. But if you're in a relationship where it's been a year, you still can't see the kids because his ex will freak out, that means he's still a slave to her nonsense. And what are you going to do? As soon as you start investing in these kids, she can have a freak out to just take them away. Like, it's not a safe place. This doesn't seem like a good place to invest your years or your good years into.
Yeah. Raymond, I tried apologizing to my girlfriend, but ended up bringing my own problems with how she comes off when frustrated, hurting her more. I have a pattern in this.
Well, you're just not being heard either way. But if you're venting out and you're doing a lot of, well, you're doing wrong, you're doing wrong, you're doing wrong, let's just be real. If you were at work and your boss pulls you in, and they're like, first I want to say, we're really sorry for the schedule getting messed up. You know, it was really not good on our part. We apologize for the schedule. But we also want to tell you all your character flaws and tell you why we think that you're the worst person here. So get your notebook ready because I'm about to tear you apart. Sorry about that schedule thing. Here's why you're the worst. Like, how excited in this meeting are you going to be? I'm sure she feels the same way. It's not a good approach for you guys to be able to be a good teammate because you just went like, hey, it's what do they call it? It's not even a shit sandwich. That's just shit. Because you just went in with like, so I just want you to let your guard down, and then bam!
Yeah, take that.
Take that. Now you put your guard down. Like you can't go in hot like that.
Yeah. Monster says, God, I wish I could talk to you guys. If anyone could tell me the problem, 100% he could, 100%.
Book a call together.
You have
we've been doing more of a couple things. I talked to Dominic and Randy today.
Did you?
Yeah, they'd be willing to.
Good.
We can get some couples together in the future. We're gonna have to test it out before we make it a big thing. But
yeah,
one thing. It'd be good to take a few people in.
Yeah, one thing we are looking to do is definitely book a call though, and he can help you with that. For sure.
It'd be good just to even hear each other. It's nice to be able to have the other person translate it so you can hear each other. It's good.
And again, the best thing is no blame, no shame, no judgment. So you can really pour it all out to this guy, and there's none of that stuff that's added to it.
Yeah, I don't even know you guys.
So click the link at the top in the profile, and then find a date that works best for you.
Yeah. We're booked out pretty deep. So we'll have to figure it out. Like if you can find a way to message us or something. We got other links and stuff that go there. All of my links for how to find me are on that page and the link at the top. So if you just go down, you can find me and other things. But it's very cool. Yeah, check the profile.
Yeah.
Phil knows. That's how he.
Also, you guys too. If you guys ever need to get a hold of us or whatever, you have any questions, you guys can also, if you're not asking here, you can always shoot us a message in. Hit us in our DMs. I hate saying that. In the messenger. Anyway, so you can send us a message, and one of us will we both have access to it. It'll probably be me getting back to you, but either way, someone will get back to you.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
You talk about managing attraction. How do you keep from losing yourself when you like someone?
That's a great question.
I mean, that's such an interesting dynamic. So
Yeah.
it's hard because I don't know you yet, and so it's hard. Was it Harry Man, 1970? It's hard because I don't know you yet.
Or the other way around. If someone likes you a lot and you become disinterested.
Well, I mean, there's a couple conversations. That's my boy Dross. I know that's you, kid. What's up, kid? It depends. There's so many variables with how human beings are. So in managing attraction, there's some people that immediately you can't stop it. It's like just fireworks. There's nothing that can make me not attracted to you. And there's some people who are attracted to you for certain things that can easily be messed up. Like some people could be like, I'm really attracted to your points of views and your view in your brain and the way that you process, and it's very sexy to me the way that you think about things. And then they start saying stuff that's really not cool. And then you're like, ugh, the thing that I'm attracted to is now getting kind of tainted. Or like, shoot, I mean, there's some really funny things if you just think about people even having their lack of authenticity exposed.
Yeah.
And this goes both physically and emotionally.
Yep.
Some people will put up a front or be a specific way and then break that. But even think about, remember when we were making jokes about how, if you're on a first date with a woman and then, you get her back and, she has high heels and a waist trainer and
Taking off her
eyelashes
lashes.
and
Yeah.
makeup and fake nails and push-up bra and, all these things where you're like, you're not even the same person I just knew a minute ago. You're 6 inches shorter. You're totally different shape now. Your face is completely different. Your boobs just dropped. What just happened? Who are you?
Boobs are always eventually going to drop. So
I'm just saying, within 10
10
minutes is a quick change.
I mean, after dinner, that's weird, but yeah,
I think
over
the same
time.
thing goes for guys too, and things like this, where we'll have a specific thing that you're attracted to, and that could easily just be messed up. It's hard to say. Everybody's different. We're all different, and we do it in different ways. Some people can come in hot. I know some people have said, I love you in the first week, and it's worked out. And some people say, I love you in the first week and get ghosted. It's just hard to say. We're all very, very unique people. The human variable is always crazy. So,
All right. I want you to answer this question for this guy.
sure.
What if your wife isn't your soulmate, and then you find your soulmate, and now everything is messy?
Oh, my God.
Get it.
Write down your story, because they'll make a movie out of it. Some romantic comedy. The maid was supposed to get married, and then found Prince Charming, whatever. I don't know. Listen, that one's a mess. That's a drama.
This is, I always got something to say about this. This is what I will say. If you're married and you somehow put yourself into a position where now someone else is your soulmate,
Leave.
not a good luck, buddy. You just got to leave. And also, what I will tell you is that typically this newfound soulmate that makes you feel fantastic is going to be just like the last person.
Well, maybe.
Yes.
We don't know their story. Maybe.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, you're adding a lot to
And
the
then you're going to
story.
find another soulmate. Dude, no. Let's
Babe,
not do that.
Baby.
What? Let's not do that.
You're going so hard.
Well, I see
he's right. Maybe-
patterns.
Yeah, but maybe he's telling the truth. You don't know.
Maybe
we don't know him.
then go get it. But you can't
It
be
could-
with both
it
at the
could
same time.
be.
Don't do that.
Don't be with both.
No.
You are breaking a promise and you are breaking a thing.
Country gravy's got me hot.
Yeah, but also take into account one thing, and this is important for the soulmate's point of view. If you are
Sorry.
if you are falling in love with another woman while you're married, and then that woman is going to commit to you, she already knows that you'll be looking somewhere else at some point in time, because that's how you met her. And it'll always be in the back of her head
Yep.
that you have that in you to go find you a new soulmate when the going gets tough.
And it's always great when it's new.
Yeah, so just be aware that you're starting off on rocky ground just to begin with. And that stays. That's a lingering thing. That's lingering there. It's going to be there for a while. So just know that it's not built on trust. And without trust, what do you have?
Ugh. This guy says that soulmate mess is my story, but my wife found him. My brother-in-law destroyed families. What?
No, that's a nightmare, bud. I'll just hang with you. Book a call. I'll just hang and be there for you, bro. That's the nightmare case scenario
But-
is when your wife
My
leaves for a
heart.
family member. It destroys. It's a dragon that destroys the village.
I can't. As much as I try to understand it, I don't understand. I cannot understand it. There's just certain things that you don't do. That's one of them. That is one of
Your
them.
Jay is so funny sometimes.
My judgments.
baby.
I know.
Yeah.
I try not to be judgmental, but like, people would not like if it's done to them. It's the golden rule. If this guy was to do that with this sister-in-law, she'd be freaking the hell out. But
Well,
let's not treat each other like that.
Dave, there's a cost on both sides.
Sure.
The brother just lost his family.
Yeah, it sucks.
Like everything, the whole thing's a
What's wrong
disaster.
with people?
Everybody lost
I
in that
hate it.
scenario. Like what reunion do
Where
they
are the
have
freaking
anymore?
values? Like,
Baby, you're
Sorry.
Jay. Put it away, please.
that's my opinion. Quit saying that.
Where are people's values? This is your judgment. Like
Judgments is good. Speak your mind. Thank you. Thank you. Don't get me started.
Hey,
I've
that's-
always got a lot to say. But
doesn't
it
Country agree
is.
with the
It's
guy who's
yeah,
they just
yeah.
found their soulmate and
yes.
You-
Yes. So
you were just
he
going
gets it.
hot on that dude. A
He
second
likes
ago.
it.
He likes it. Maybe you're gonna be a soulmate. Keep telling him how it is.
Yeah, listen. Let me tell you something. No one's taking away from this guy. But I guess and I don't know if they're judgments, but it comes from my values and what I do believe in. I do have loyalty in my heart. I also have a lot of values that I do believe in.
Good job. I see you. Was it Cody? Yeah, Gimli the Giant. Yeah, like that's right on, bro. Way to get in there. I know that, like I said, the role model thing, that was a tough one for me also. Go in authentically. Don't listen to people's opinions. Go in there and make your own opinion of it. Good job, bud. Way to go.
So a lot of this comes up often. You have a picture or the words says, "Are you encouraging him?" A lot of people ask about the map. Now I think some people think that the two are related, and they're not.
They're not related.
So people want to ask about that.
Which thing? The encouragement
map.
or the map?
The chart.
All right. Yeah, the chart it's really advanced. I'm going to give you a little this gets a little psychology stuff, so I'm going to get in a little bit. Actually, it's kind of a faith thing also. There's a lot of things going on. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm really good at recognizing patterns, and they happen often. And you start putting together the patterns for like your loss system or the way your feeling system works, or what are the things in love. I can just put this back up again tomorrow.
Should probably get it laminated.
Yeah, I gotta print this out for Greg. Maybe I'll just give this to Greg anyways. This is the old version. I updated a little since then.
This thing is friggin' fantastic.
I think everything's backwards on our thing though. So if I
Yeah.
do this, yeah, it's all backwards. All right. So you guys can't read this from where we're at. I'm gonna give you guys just the shortest synopsis of something where like each one of these circles here is like a book in itself. Each one of these
For sure.
circles matters. And so I'm just going to just point just so you can see me move, but you won't be able to see what I'm doing, just so you know, okay? But to give you an idea, everything that we do starts with our belief system. I'm going to go so deep on this. I'm going to
Yeah, go ahead.
try and keep me reeled back here. Everything. Your belief is your brain. It's like your nervous system that goes all the way through. So whatever you believe something is, that's what it's going to be, no matter what it is. The next cores that you've got go into your values and your feelings. Now I challenged, is it through your feelings that you change things, or is it through your values that you change things? These don't change until your beliefs do. Everything still starts with belief. Off of belief also comes your love circle. Love is connected all the way around. Here's the pieces of love. And this is something where like each one of these is its own chapter. Sacrifice, serving, amplified emotions, reciprocity. It's also your highest source of pain. Expectations, love languages, and needs. Now, when it comes to feelings, how does feelings attach to your love? It comes in through amplified emotions. When you're in love with somebody or you love someone, all of the feelings are dialed all the way up. And so that's how they even get into your love system. This is why you'll be jealous or angry about things that you would never be jealous or angry about with anyone else. Everything's turned up when you go into love. when it comes to your needs. Needs are connected to your values. If you don't know your values, how do you know what you need? If you can't express either, how do they know? Everything here is going to be connected. When you go into your belief, this gets to your identity. Your identity gets into like where you are in life as like, are you a beta? Are you an alpha? Are you a gamma? Are you a sigma? Like, what level are you at for your own leadership? It gets into your Myers-Briggs, your personality type, your Enneagrams, your faith, your philosophies, your religions, habits, behaviors, patterns, your title, your status, your purpose in life. When it gets to the gender one, that's why that video for what do men need? Men are sex, hungry, appreciation. Women are acceptance, reassurance, hypergamy. Like, these are the core pieces to how we operate. If you know this, it's way easier to be able to work through. The more interesting part of this thing gets into when your belief is linked to your goal system, and when your feelings, if you get into your feelings are your highest source of weakness. This is the weak spot, because when we process with feelings before we think. The feelings come first. And so when the feelings get attacked, it's the only spot that you can get attacked through. That's where the enemy within will come through. That's fear, excuses, doubt, and distractions. And each one of those attacks you specifically. Fear through your creativity and your imagination, which leads to anxiety. That goes right to your feelings. Excuses go in through negative emotions, and that attacks through your feelings, going to your belief system. Your doubt attacks motivation. Doubt makes you feel like you can't do things. Doubt is nothing, and so it'll make you feel like doing nothing. It kills your motivation, which reinforces your feelings, going back to your belief system. Distractions is the one that caught me off guard. Your distractions attack your pleasure. Distractions attack you through what you like to do. It's fun. It makes it something. It's like watching all of these TikToks, or watching too much Netflix, or playing a video game for way too long, or whatever. Distractions are the ones that are coming through what you like. Distractions also start attacking your loss system. Your loss system is where you get into denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and ultimately need to get to acceptance. But if you don't know that, you're trapped in the circle up here, and that's where most people are trapped. When you're trapped in this system is when the enemy within can come in, reinforce through the feelings, and start reinforcing all of this. All of it goes back to belief, and then once this gets corrupted and your fear, excuses, doubt, distractions start leading into your doubt system of denial, anger, depression, that's when it goes into your belief system, which starts corrupting your identity, starts corrupting your love, starts corrupting your values. It shuts down your goal and dream system, and then you're just stuck in mud. And that's where depression starts really getting. That's when distractions go into denial, which is like denying reality completely. What do you do to deny reality? That's when drinking gets involved, or taking drugs, or pharmaceuticals, or doing something, getting into something that makes you never want to go pay attention to what's going on, getting into porn or whatever. And then you start seeing people who are so trapped in that loss system that they actually only find attention or love when they're sharing how bad their situation is. And that's your misery loves company, people. And that's when the value of your solutions needs to be higher than the value of your problems, but they love the attention they get from their problems, so they'll never solve it.
Can you see this for a second?
Sure.
So, really quick.
Don't get me started. I write books on this shit.
Well, let me see if I can do this.
Hit the mirror, not the flip. That goes to the back. There you go. Okay, good. Baby, I see you hovering all over doing this move, and I was trying to help you. Baby, just hit the thing again, please. Hit the button. Not that. Just above it.
Flip
above
camera?
it. Above it. Higher. Yes. There you go.
Okay, so this is what it looks like. Sorry. So now if you just have this, it's almost impossible to be able to explain it and really
Just leave
understand it.
It's okay, you can leave it. Oh, it messes you up. What are
So,
you doing?
um,
Baby, what are
what?
you doing?
Nothing.
You're doing your nonverbals.
No,
What are you
it's
doing?
good. Good. Um, you won't be able to really understand it with just looking at the map. Like he gives such a great example of doing that. So way too accurate. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes in a lot deeper. Like even the next book that I'm putting out just gets into just this section right here, and it's like I gotta make sure I keep it down. Like I'm trying to keep it around 150 pages so people will like read it. It's not too big, but it gets into that. The next book is going to get into when you get into your belief and love system, and then like well, actually, I think it's going to be values and love, and then it'll be belief and identity is going to be the next part, and that gets into your goal system and everything. But there's a lot. If I put all of this together with all the writing that I've been doing, it's like a 600-page book. And who the hell wants to read a 600-page book? I don't even want to read a 600-page book, let alone write it. But I'll read like a few small books.
That's true.
Feels way more
Yeah, that's true.
accomplished, like when you grab it in sections. But yeah, there's a lot to this. This thing's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Yeah, it's amazing how we all seem to hurt the same, react the same, and then given the same and heal all the same. It's really actually the thing with this that makes it so effective is when I find where you're at, it allows me to ask the questions to get you to your belief system. And if you don't understand this type of map, I don't put it out there, Walter. It's not really a thing that's out there because this is my tool that I built that I use with my training. Putting this out there, it's not really not really helpful if you don't know how to read it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's one of the things is it seems like it makes sense, but a lot of these things I've had to like really research. Each circle is like a full book, and so this is just one of my tools that I've got for my own stuff, but. So far, I've mapped out people's lives, and I can see you got stuck in your lost system, and I can see that the enemy within that has you is excuses and distractions, and I can literally map out what's going on with you, lead you through the feelings that you're having, which way it affects you, what it's doing to others, what's happening to your belief system that leads you to the identity that you believe you're this, and it just gets right into it.
Yeah.
So I really can't give away all the secrets. It's just it's like if you have like a master's degree in something and you were just going to show them like, hey, here's the final thing for it. And they're going to be like,
what do I do with this? Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah. I'm not saying like insulting in any way. It's just I know that I've done this a few times where I've even sent this to a 40-year psychologist and it took him like 4 days to kind of like go like, I went at it every angle. It seems like it makes sense. You know, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the human design or a horoscope. You can't just go like, here you go. It's more confusing. Like if you just see it, so. Human mind schematic I've scratched. Walter, here's a funny thing with it. I wish myself personally, I've been doing research and writing and working with people for a long time. I would like to say that I did this. I really would. I would like to have the I don't know, the ego involved to say, look what I have done. I am so great. I really am going to do something that some of you will like and some of you won't. I don't think that this was all me. I think that we've opened ourselves up pretty wide spiritually. And God talks to me middle of the night. And I don't mean like, I'm not one of those guys who like, he talks to me. And we're like, hey, God. And he's like, hey, Rick, good morning. You know, like, we don't talk. But it's one of those things where I have thoughts. I have thoughts that aren't my thoughts, that are a higher level of wisdom than I've even seen before. And so this map came to me at 4 a.m. I was sound asleep. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I grabbed my iPad and just started putting the circles together. And she woke up. I was working for her over 2.5 hours before she even woke up. And I'm like, look what's here. Like, it's crazy. I'll tell you what, like, who is the guy? If you guys want to talk about this, like, book the call with me, and I'll go through stuff with you. And if I like you, and that's a big thing, if I like you and we have a great talk and do stuff, I'll send it to you. I don't care. But I'm not going to just stick this thing out there and confuse the hell out of everybody who's going to grab this map and use it as a weapon. Because that's what people would do. Oh, well, look at love. Do you see it? Look,
Well,
Reciprocity.
well, I think
You're
we're
not
at-
doing your part. You know, it'll
Well-
turn into a weapon really easily. And I don't want people to use this as a weapon. Some people would use it for good, and some people would use it for bad. But if it's used recklessly, it can do more harm than good because people will just blame each other for things. But if you want to hang out and I talk to you, and I'll shoot you the email and I'll share it with certain people. But I don't want this to be something that I just put out there and cause more harm because it's very easy for it to do harm. It really is. If you don't understand it, it's like the map that like can break somebody down, and it can be used to do harm like fast. So that's why I only really bring the map out when I'm training my coaches. That's really the only time I really bring this out is because if I give it to somebody who doesn't know what it is, it's confusing, it's overwhelming, and it's messy. And I don't like doing that to people, so I have to get people in pieces. So that's hard. That's a lot. So if you guys want to hang out and talk, I'd be happy to give you a copy after we've talked. No problem. But I can't just. I'm not going to put this out there. People would use it to hurt people they love, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, double-edged sword. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. We've been helping people. It's been what 5 years that we've been doing it. Like we've gone through multiple versions. Started with just a mile a day, got into everything's a choice with women, and then we did both, and then it just evolved into being just men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just work with men. So it's evolved over years. So we've worked with multiple people. Nuclear power, man talk. I don't know. Where do you practice, or what's the best way to contact you? We got the links up in the top. It goes right to one of our pages that has all of our stuff to it. So we're in Illinois, so we're near Chicago.
Look at that. I just got back from Texas.
Hey,
Could
right
you
on.
tell?
There you go. Yeah, you still got your cowboy hat on.
Why would someone talk with you and then have you send a copy of it? No one gets a copy of that as of right now. No one has a copy of it.
Yeah.
So
I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to just fire it out there. And if it's too inconvenient for us to hang out and then be able to share with you, well then. Oh, how? Not wow. Okay. Yeah, click the link, man. My calendar's on there. Just grab a day. Grab a day. Also, like, there may be a time, too, where if you can book out with Eddie and then he'll talk to me and be like, no, this is a good dude. Like, we'll share with him. Like, that's fine. He's fantastic at reading people. Yeah. He's very good at it. But his schedule, we just opened it up, so he's more available than I am. But I've been jumping on with his calls, too, and we both talk with people. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, Phil, I love you, man. Thanks for being on here, kid. Finally working towards my own health. Yeah, you're doing good. No, we had a good talk. We got in hard. Phil's a solid dude. That's a good guy. Just been hurt a lot. And I think that's the thing with a lot of people is there's a lot of good people who are just hurt a lot. And once you get a couple pieces to heal a little bit better, it almost like creates a chain reaction of healing. And that's a cool thing. So yeah, if you just book a call, we'll talk. I'll send you a map if we have a good conversation. And we just agree don't use this to hurt people, then we'll be good. But this could easily be used to destroy somebody. Yeah. I could see how it would be used that way. You can destroy somebody pretty easily just by saying, you're not good in this. You're not good in this. Do you see this? This is where you're a failure. This could easily be used as a weapon. And that's not my goal.
So I'm going to reach out. I want to save my marriage. Yeah.
Let's do it. I'd love to talk to you. And there's a lot of guys. I've had some talks this week with guys where we've had to like literally dismantle the belief system that's been fed on them by society that didn't work. Like there's some society stuff that they think that they're supposed to be a certain way for women, and then when they finally build their women up, the women just destroy them because they've created their own undoing. And they're like, how can this be? I did everything they said. And it's like they don't like that. You don't get love. You get left behind. That's how it works. And there's some tough conversations that we have. So sometimes it may be something that you thought you were doing the right thing, and you realized it was just not right for what you guys need. And those are tough moments to have those conversations. The part about working on yourself is being honest with yourself and taking responsibility on it. It's true. Accountability is a big part. We had the accountability challenge. Remember that video we did? We were in Chicago when we did that
I
video.
do. It's something, yeah.
I think that's actually on the Just a Mile a Day page.
Yeah, it was really good.
Walter White, can you go in deeper into this? With you, I will. So, Walter, book a call. Let's hang out, bud.
Regarding what?
On all of it. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
On this thing, I'm sure Walter likes the map, and he's probably got a good analytical brain and really enjoys that stuff. So, Walter White, book a call with me. Let's hang out, and yeah, then we'll hang. Walter White. Is that Heisenberg? Heisenberg?
I don't know.
I know you don't know. I think some of you will know, though. I think that's who it is, right? Is that right? Is that who we're talking about? She's never watched the show, so I'm pretty sure that's who I'm talking about.
I don't watch a lot of
Yeah, there we go. He knows.
in
I'm with you,
general.
Walter. I'm with you. I see what you're cooking up over there.
You said something in one of your
See
videos
what you're
about
cooking.
what
Yeah.
women want. No, we don't know. He doesn't always only speak to married folks. So he is a men's coach. Something that we've talked about doing, we haven't officially rolled anything out yet, but is to take on just a couple couples.
I'll let him in.
I could do
My
it
dog's
too.
hitting
Yeah.
the door.
Dog's like, let me get in. Is working with just a few couples. And starting that. So we haven't rolled anything out yet or even, look to see what that's going to look like in the future. But right now it's just men. Bill's...
Oh my gosh. Here he is. Sorry, babe.
It's fine. You said women want a man that never stops working on himself. That's true.
Well, as a couple, you guys should always be growing anyways. All right, bud, you're in. You made it in. Calm down. If we book, let's see, do we work with you or your coaches? Right now, I'm booking out my next class. I just opened up. That's one of my classes. So right now, if you sign up before the 1st with me, you're in one of my classes. But I do have 2 coaches that I am also building out to work on classes. So at some point, I'm going to be running too many things to take too many classes. So I also have some guys who are like, very high level individuals who recognize like how fast this is going to go. And he's like, I can't believe I get to be in one of your classes before you're just teaching coaches. So yeah, right now you'll be working with me. Are your classes only for men? Yes, they're only for men. With what we do, it's only for guys. Yeah, it's if we have any women in these classes, it would kind of muddy the water for what it is that we do, and also the way that men operate and the way women operate are different. But good news is like while there's only like 30 different men's setups like this, there's millions for women, so there are lots of options that are out there.
What do you do when your wife thinks... Hold on. Click the link at the top to sign up for the classes. I would love for my... Oh, wait, hold on. What do you do when your wife thinks you aren't doing enough, but you're giving all you can?
Ooh, you have to answer that one. We've had to go through that.
When a wife thinks you're not doing enough, but you're doing all you can, how do you want me to answer that?
However you want. Authentically, honestly.
I think that it's typically her expectations of what she believes she thinks that you should be doing. So I think that's the first conversation that needs to happen as far as what expectations does she have for you that you may not be even aware of. Also, is she able to understand the things that you are doing and having an appreciation for those things as well? So it sounds like to me there just needs to be more communication when it comes to that as a whole, as far as expectations and what is actually is happening in that dynamic. What would you add to it?
I would add, all right, that's your professional answer. Give them your real answer, because we've had these conversations, because let's just be real.
Yeah,
this hasn't always been a wild success. Like when it comes to anybody, if you watch Steve Harvey, if you watch anybody who's ever had to grind, it doesn't start off successful. You have to go through so much hell and hardships and failure and failure and failure and failure over and over to be able to be successful that a lot of times you're only measured by your results and not the work itself. It's kind of like saying if you were building a sword and it takes 10,000 hits to build the sword, and she's there when you're on 2,000. And she's like, "Where's the sword?" And you're like, I'm still working on the sword." And you're like, "Tink," and she's like, "That one didn't do nothing." And I'm like, "It takes 10,000. I still have 8,000 more to go."
Yeah.
"Well, hurry up then." "Dink, dink, you're going in your 5,000 in." She's like, "No sword yet? What are you doing in here all day?" I'm like halfway through this. Halfway? Can you get at least halfway efficient then? Like you just start getting nagged and nagged. And you're going until finally it starts to look like the thing you're trying to do. And it starts to go the way that you want it to go. But it might take a year or 2 years or 3 years to do that. We've been going at this. We've been helping people and getting some money and some success. It's tough when you're in that situation. Now, if you have a goal or a dream or something that you're working toward, that's one thing. If you're actually not doing anything to better yourself and you still want to be recognized, you may want to start changing some of your behavior to be hitting that sword.
Yeah, it doesn't. For a woman, it doesn't come off as attractive if you see your guy, especially if you're working as a woman and you see your guy not doing a whole lot. It's not an attractive trait because typically, as a woman and having hypergamy, which you talked about before, we want our guy to be up a level and working just as hard or even harder, right? So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So, I think we're good with that question.
That was a good question.
Yeah, it was a great question.
Pretty good. Yeah.
There was a statement, "Men are left out because we are emotionless," is what he said. And there was something else added to it, but I missed it. Have you seen a lot of men lose themselves in a marriage?
Yes, absolutely. You know where guys mess up the most? Ladies, listen to this. You might hate it. It might wake you up.
Yeah.
If your man is losing who he was when you met him, I had a guy the other day who was an alpha male. Alpha, strong, military leader, knew his stuff. When they met, she actually left a guy to be with him because he was so alpha. He was just the guy. Good around his friends, rode a motorcycle, had ambition, starting a business. He was the guy. And being with her, she was like, "Hey, listen, I need, now that we live together." Remember that video that I said about, like, hey, when the expectations and the priorities change? Like, he got on our call, and he was like, "I can't believe I'm talking with you." And he's like, "I watched that video over 100 times." Is that Arthur? So, yeah. Arthur, yeah, so, all right, so that was us. Okay, I didn't realize that was your screen name.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, it's Carlo. So, anyways, it's good dude, awesome guy, and just did the thing. He did it exactly to what it was. What he did was he did everything that she asked. This destroyed the dynamic. Ugh. He did everything she asked for. He'll sacrifice anything for her. He'll be there for her no matter what. If my friends are in the way, then my friends gotta go. If you don't like me riding my motorcycle, then I won't ride my motorcycle. If you don't like it the way that I'm doing this thing, then I won't do that thing. If you need some money, then I'll give you some money. He sacrificed everything that he has for her just to be the exact opposite of what he was when she fell in love with him. He was a pack leader who got rid of his pack. He was adventurous and locked the bike up. He was a go-getter on his dreams and his goals, but he gave all of his stuff to her so she could have her goals. And when he did these things, it destroyed the hypergamy aspect of it to where he stopped being the guy who she fell in love with because she was asking him to be something that he's not. And then when he becomes what she asks, she's not attracted to him anymore and feels like she can do better. Guys, I'm gonna break the curse that this bullshit is. It hurts thousands and thousands of guys. The real answer is you keep working on you and being your best self. Know what your values are and know what your boundaries, your standards, and your non-negotiables are. If she says, "I need you to abandon your pack and get rid of your friends. You're a pack leader. You're a leader. And if she says, abandon your people, what are you doing? You have to go, sweetheart, that's my line. I can't abandon my people. Get rid of the people who are mine. Leave my pack. That's what you're asking me to do?
No.
Like, there are standards of just yourself that you do not flex for anybody. And when you do, you become less attractive. I talked to another guy, same thing, gave everything to her. And now she's above him as far as she makes more money, has more status, has more stuff. And only because he gave all of the resources
To
for
help
her
her
to
to
be
get to
so.
where she's at.
And now
No.
she won't help him, and
I
she's already
can't.
looking up to see who can she upgrade to.
I can't. I can't even, as a woman, understand that mentality. I seriously can't understand it. Like, what is happening, ladies? What is please explain to me why someone would treat someone like that. I mean, I can't even imagine. Let me just finish for a second.
Okay.
I can't even imagine for a second if you were helping me pay for my schooling or do whatever, right? And I get to have this dream job that I worked so hard for, right? And then you've given everything you have to me, and then now I'm doing great. And now maybe you're struggling or going through a tough moment. I'm like, sorry, bud, figure it out. I can't understand how that happens.
That's society's set up right now.
I hate
right
it.
now, there's a difference between girls and women and boys and men. And boys and girls are takers. And right now, society is teaching girls to get yours. Take what you can. Get what you're able to. And it's also really pushing this, like, get your high-value man. But you're not realizing you just had one. And so you think now you're going to get, like, the rich billionaire or whatever?
If
like,
you want a high-value man, what kind of woman are you to get that high-value man also? High-value women also don't leave their men to just figure it out. Like, you take care of the guy that you're with, too. Like, it has to be both. Like, as humans, don't treat people like that. Like, I don't understand it. I do not like it.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, now you're a little more traditional, but right now, look what our girls are exposed to. They're exposed. They're supposed to just go get yours, hot girl summer. Like,
no, I will not.
Baby, I hear you.
I will not. I have. You know, this gets me worked up. It gets me worked up because it gets me worked up. Come on, ladies. Let's do better. Like, come on.
Well, ultimately, this hurts girls more than guys.
It does.
Right now, these guys are taking a shot, but there's going to be a big turn where guys really start turning inward. You know, I'm not necessarily talking about like the MGTOW movement stuff, but I'm talking more about like guys are going to start going like, wait a second. When I sacrifice all of my values and what my needs are for you, you don't care. So I'm going to keep my standards. I'm going to keep my values. I'm going to know where my lines, and when you ask me to betray my lines, I will not. I'm not mad at you. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of stuff where these tests that keep being given to people, when she goes, I need you to get rid of your friends, and you go like, I heard what you said, and I'm not doing that. That's not me. I can't betray all the people that have been there for me always. I will not do that.
Yeah.
What else do you have as a request? You want me to stop talking to my parents too? Maybe get rid of my brother? Like, what do you want me to do here? Because what you're asking for is something that is harmful to us, harmful to me, and it's not going to happen. Know your lines, though. If you don't know what your lines are, you're going to think you're doing the right thing. Society's lying to both them and men. Women and men were being lied to. It doesn't work. Women, stop trying to get yours when you've got a great guy. And guys, if you're not working on you first, she'll take everything from you and go get hers. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Doesn't work. What'd Walter just say? Because he just got a fax.
It's like guys are turning into feminist men hoping to get a little sniff. I will tell you this.
I just had one of those the other day. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It does not work. And the guys that I see on social media that are highly protective of women's rights, like, all that's fine. to a point. We want, as a woman, as you've just said, we want our guys to be guys. Like we want them to be leaders. And what?
Well, I'll tell you, I actually work with them. Here's what happens. Here's what they do. The guys who come and see me who fell for the narrative, and there's a big difference, and this is something that's important that you should know. Feminism started off for equality. It started for equal opportunity, and the chance for women to also be able to lead or have position. And it's not equal, everybody has to do the same. It's just give us the chance to be able to have the chance. Let us have the choice. No restrictions. That's where the movement starts. Now it's gotten to the point where like all women are better and they get everything. All the guys who have gone super far into this new alternative feminism thing, the guys that I talk to now do not get laid by their wives. They are not attracted to them. They don't sleep with their husbands at all. And they're like, what the heck? I have done everything that they said I'm supposed to do. How come I'm at home with the kid? I'm the one taking care of all these things, and she's off doing all the fun stuff, and she won't even sleep with me. I had one guy, such a good heart, good dude, who said, I'm a touch, words of affirmation, and she verbally and physically denies me every day. It means every day he gets a double rejection. Every day. But he did everything that he was told to do with this super feminist movement just to be not treated attractive. Want me to tell you something else that's psychologically crazy? The men who have fallen for this trap have now been going into this thing where there's a subconscious level of resentment. And when they are getting sexually active with somebody, they're becoming violent in their sexual actions. Not just like good sex and slap the butt, like punch them in the face and start beating on them and stuff. There's a subconscious resentment against your wiring where it doesn't make sense for a guy who's 6'3", 250, acting like a scared little baby to a woman who's 5'2", 120. It doesn't even make sense in anything. Why should the silverback gorilla roll over for the puppy? It doesn't make any sense. And so in this case, it goes against our wiring. If you're meant to be a leader, lead. It doesn't mean you have to be beating everybody up or hurting everybody, but you don't cower because the Chihuahua is barking at the German Shepherd. It doesn't make any sense. And so what I've noticed with each guy, and I watch the pain in their eyes when they realize everything that I've been taught to believe doesn't work. And I've known it for a long time. My wife hasn't been sleeping with me for years, and now I can see why that is. It doesn't work. You have to work on you first. And even with my guys now, they realize when they take time to work on themselves and keep themselves strong, they have more to give. It just works better that way. Better for her, better for you. She stays safe and secure, knows she's got the best guy she could have when she wakes up in the morning. You're always growing. You feel confident and strong in yourself. Know your values, your morals, know where your standards are. You don't sacrifice what that is no matter what, because it's more about what is right than who is right. And right now the narrative is who is right. It's wrong. It doesn't work. You don't get laid, you get left, and you get left with the bill. And that's what I see a lot of guys. They get left and have to pay for all of it for a long time. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. Sounds nice on paper. My stepdad went through the same thing. Everything's for you, babe. Everything's for you, babe. Everything's for you, babe, just to be a doormat. It doesn't work that way. At some point you go, I love you, but don't step on me. And I really mean it. Mm-hmm. When you hold your ground, she actually likes that. Yeah, it might mess you guys up. If you hold your ground and you're like, I appreciate what you're saying, and I do love you, but I will not sacrifice something that's important to me because you're having a day. No. Or even funnier, this is how you can know you have a good guy, is women will say stuff in passing like, I wish we had better dishes. That's not an actual request. That's not, hey, let's go get dishes together, babe. That's just a simple statement that she wishes she had better dishes. But that feeling or that emotion goes away in like 10 seconds. And now she's on to like, we need laundry soap. Like, it just, they go all over. Every single time you jump to these statements, you'll go freaking crazy. And how many of you guys have gone and bought new dishes and she comes back and she goes, where are those old dishes? Those were my mom's dishes. What did you do? Why didn't you talk to me? I love those dishes. You're like, well, you just said you wish we had different dishes. You're like, what happened? Just because they make statements doesn't mean we have to jump. It takes away who we are. Now, if she makes a request, or you guys have an agreement, and she's like, babe, I'd really like to get some new dishes. Can we get new dishes soon? And you're like, baby, I'd be happy to get new dishes. Let's go together and pick out the best set. Now you got a team. You're doing great again. But if she's just making noise and then you're just doing your best to make it so she's happy, but you're doing it in your own damn way, I think, yeah, like this guy just said, it's called horrible communication skills. Nobody's doing anything that anybody's actually requesting or looking for. They're just trying to do their best. And then now you're rejected. You're shot down for your kindness and your thoughtfulness. They didn't actually ask for that thoughtfulness, so they take it as like you're just trying to mess with them. They feel like you're trying to control them because you got rid of their dishes. You feel like you're not appreciated because you just did a gesture that's not feeling good. Both of you are mad at each other. Now no one's listening, so someone's screaming and somebody's shutting down. And now you go to bed angry, and all you guys really wanted was a big hug and some sex. No sex for you, though.
Yeah. So this guy said, what do you do when she actually means she wants the best of everything?
She doesn't know what she wants, man. Ask any women. Ask women. If anybody says, I want the best of everything, either first off, find somebody who can appreciate things more, or second, have some women translate. She doesn't know what she really wants. And if she's going to use people in a certain way, just take an inventory of your values to see if what she's actually treating you like matches up with the amount that you're about to give. Because if you're going to give the best of everything, what's the reciprocity for that level of commitment? I'm just going to be real. If anybody was like, give me the best of everything, it's like, you better bring some shit to the fucking table here. If I'm giving you the best of everything, you better come with the best of everything back. What are you doing? I'm just saying.
Oh.
Yeah, you know.
Well, zero reciprocation for 25 years, and that's why I'm leaving.
Can't argue with that. You guys are in a relationship with each other because you're both supposed to be getting something from each other. That doesn't mean money. It just means there's something. Some kind of love. Some kind of appreciation for each other. Some kind of growth in some way. You're both supposed to get something from each other. You're both supposed to be filling some need or some value that you guys both see in each other that makes you guys better. And if you guys are with someone who's just a taker, it only goes one way for so long, and you can only be bled out until you're just no more blood.
All right, so here's a question. Would you agree that trust is the foundation of every relationship, then comes communication?
I would agree with the first part. Communication is maybe still. Communication matters, but without trust you have nothing. But I mean, some could argue respect, some could argue whatever their values end up being. Yours is loyalty, so yours would be loyalty over communication, because if I'm breaking your trust in the first part and it starts messing with what your opinion of loyalty is, you'll just think I'm lying or trying to get away with something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, without trust you don't have anything.
Yeah.
The second part goes off of your values. Some people it's fairness. Some people it's dignity. Some people it's service. Everybody's different. Communication's
tough too, because it can be tough making sure that you're communicating properly and to make sure that each person's needs are met as well. Phil says, any tips for guys that make less but to keep the hypergamy? Is it called hypergamy or hypergamy? I've heard you say...
Hypergamy is when a woman needs to date equal and up.
Right.
Hypergamy is when a woman dates down.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know there were two different meanings for the same word.
They're spelled a little different.
So?
That's the answer. I mean, that's it. What's your question on the first one again?
Well-
Because I was still on the whole thing that I think we answered. So
Okay.
you had another one, right?
No, it's Phil's.
Oh.
Any tips for guys that make less but to keep the hypergamy?
Here's my thing, Phil. Like, I think we talked about this too. At this point, I would just keep working on you. And you've lost a lot of weight. You've been moving the right direction and doing some great things. I think he has all the pieces to do great things. Keep moving yourself up, and you'll find somebody who's more of your caliber. Because right now, you're going to be in a really, how do I say it? You're at a spot right now where anybody who's going to match your level will probably be bringing more problems than solutions. You know, and so you want somebody who can build you up, not somebody who complicates things. Someone who complements more than complicates, I guess, is where you're at. And so keep working on yourself until you can move up to a point where you're bringing like a bunch of complement her life and she brings compliments to your life.
Mm-hmm. Brandon said, one thing I've learned is just because there's communication doesn't mean there's understanding. Yes, you are right.
Yeah, I wrote that down recently. Just because you're making noise doesn't mean you're making sense.
Right. Very true.
Just soak that in, like for real.
Yeah.
Just because you're making noise doesn't mean you're making sense.
That's very true. Just because you're getting louder also doesn't mean the same thing.
That means you're right. If you're louder, you're right.
The louder you are, the more right you are. I've heard you say that as a man, appreciation is key, but what happens when they do things that purposely make you mad?
Like what you're doing right now?
I don't like that. Listen, why'd you over your questions? I'm trying to be your assistant here. Don't give me shit.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. Start asking you random
You're just
questions.
hitting buttons.
Listen, that was me doing my best. I'm like, go gadget arms over here, trying to do my best to help you.
You're doing a good job. I'm just messing with you. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't mess with you.
Bye,
teasing.
Arthur.
I'm just teasing. Later, Carlos. I'll see you later, bud. All right, so
y'all need therapy. Maybe we might. Oh, one thing.
Do you know someone?
Yeah. Can you recommend someone that's good that can help us be better communicators with each other? Him and I, we have our moments, but we're pretty quick on getting shit figured out for the most part.
We don't hold on to stuff.
No.
All right, what was that question? Because we got sidetracked.
Uh-huh.
Oh, stop.
Uh-huh. Look at y'all. I don't remember.
When purposely makes you mad, that's what it was. When you have somebody who's purposely pushing your buttons, I think there's a few things involved in that. One, first off, they don't respect you. And I don't know why. I don't know what your situation is. There's some reason you're not respected, because why would anybody push someone's buttons they don't respect? There's something happening. There's a piece missing in your dynamic. So
there's some really great questions, you guys.
I don't know.
I'm trying to. They're going so fast. So here's a good one. We've talked about this one often. I'm finding out it's true that my significant other doesn't show me the same compassion and empathy, and you've talked about that multiple times. Yeah. What if something you do is? Oh my gosh, these people are fast. What if nothing you do is good enough? There's never appreciation, a compliment. You just exist.
I have a hard question for you. Write it down. What are you getting out of this relationship? Like, what are you in this relationship for? Answer that question. Maybe you have to do a Benjamin Franklin T-chart or something. I don't know. What are your pros? What are your cons? But what are you getting from this relationship? Like, you're investing your life and your time, which you don't get any more of that back. Like, what do you get out of this relationship? And if you're in it, you're in a toxic environment because of your daughter, what type of example is she being shown from mom and you? What are you getting from this relationship? And if you think you getting shit on makes your daughter's life better, you are not right. It just makes her become like mom.
Thank you.
And that's not going to be good for her relationships either.
She's 2.
Yeah. What are you in a relationship like this for? What are you getting
He
out
said
of
I
it?
need to get out.
If that's the case, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying if you can see this is probably what I need to do, like, in this day and age, like, she's not going to be the black sheep anymore if my mom and dad don't live together. It seems like nobody's mom and dad lives together. So that's going to be like, that's regular. The difference is do everything that you can to be in her life. Do
Yes.
not give up like your 50%. Don't give up. Don't go to every other weekend. You do things the right way. Make sure you set it up correctly to not lose contact with your little girl. You spend as much time with her as you possibly can. Like, always. Don't ever do that stupid thing where you go every other weekend if you don't have to. Like, only reason you do it is if, like, you lost that hard.
Yeah.
But you do everything to be with that little girl as many minutes as you can possibly do. That's it. It's the only chance that she's got at any type of, like, normalcy is that she gets to see you all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions going back as far as talking about feeling like roommates. Like, we're feeling like we're roommates now, and I want to get out. How do you start that conversation?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I do one better for you. Don't just get out, work on you. I'll tell you what, when you go back to being an alpha again, whatever you were when she met you, she didn't want to be your roommate when she met you. You were doing things at one point. At one point, you had a goal or a dream, or you're going to start a business, or you were going to be something. There was something you were going to do. You were working out more. You were hanging out with people who lifted you up. You were doing things that made you you. You had potential. You had all this stuff going for you. You didn't take shit from nobody. You were something different.
Your Todd's like, I was working out.
Yeah, if
of
you
course
were working out, start working out again.
Yep. Yes.
Just start being your you again. We replace our authenticity with service and then we get roommated. Like, no, do your stuff. What's she gonna do? Not sleep with you? You're roommates. Do you again. Start working on your stuff. Read books more. Write more.
Improve
Learn
yourself.
yourself.
Yep.
Hang out with people who are moving and shaking. Keep working on one of your goals or dreams that you put on the back burner for her. Quit bullshitting yourself. Get back to being authentic and work on your stuff. Start doing some damn push-ups and squats. Do you know what you need? A floor. They're everywhere. As long as you find a floor, you got possibilities now.
Yeah.
So don't let somebody else dictate
Thanks,
your
fella.
potential, man. You can do all of the things that made you desirable again, but you sacrificed being desirable for someone who won't even give you any love.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Why don't you go back to doing stuff again?
It's such a good point, and also is very attractive to the significant other too. Like, oh, you're working on yourself. Okay, what's going on?
You're doing some push-ups. huh?
Right.
Okay. Notice your arms coming in. Wow, babe.
Yes, and some people too. Well, someone was just saying like, I used to ride a motorcycle. Should start riding a motorcycle now. It doesn't have to be the exact thing. Just find something and how you're able to improve yourself and to work on you.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's come up a lot of times too. I'm going to give you guys a quick tip here. You don't get to go back to who you were. You've been through too much. You know too much. You've done too much. Your only option now is to take the stuff that you used to be and evolve forward. You have to become something better. You know too much. You know more than you did when you were younger. You know too much. Your only option now is to evolve. You become something better. You become something stronger. You become something smarter than what you used to be. Don't try and go backwards. Just take all that knowledge and what you used to do and what you know now and evolve it forward. Become the better version.
Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. And many people that are in a long-term relationship or for many years, you're not the same person as when you met. And sometimes you lose part of yourself and sometimes you pick up other things, whether they're good habits or bad habits, and you evolve as a human being. So it is important to make sure there's that connection, you're growing together. I do want to address Ryan's question. He's asked this a couple times. How do I gain trust back from a 13-year relationship? she has no trust in me. His other comment was, everything I say is like a lie in her eyes.
Might be. I don't know you guys' story. How many strikes have you done, bud? Is it like, have you cheated, and then like how many times? It's kind of a big part. If you guys have made agreements and she tried to forgive you and you betrayed again, you might have killed it, man. It's one of those things where if you killed it, you're done. Yeah, especially the squats and stuff like that definitely boost your testosterone. That's for sure. The beard is tough. Appreciate it, man.
It's like I never cheated on her in my life. We broke up, and I've lied to her when we were broken up.
You weren't together, so what is she holding on to? She dated guys before she knew you, and odds are, when you were broken up, she's not telling you stuff either, and she's probably holding her own shit against you.
Yeah.
Statistically, it's not always. Some people don't do that, but
Yeah.
it's a higher probability that she's resentful towards you for things that she may have done to keep you away from knowing what she did.
Yeah.
It's deflection, classic deflection.
J.me says, I'm recently, he's talking about broken promises. I'm recently divorced after 17 years. It's very odd how everything is hookup culture now. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that. It is. And you have a lot of guys that are going through that in your group that are either newly single or divorced or whatever. Like, what are you seeing out there for the people that are about to go into being single again?
It's actually kind of crazy. We're in our early 40s. I'm 40 or early 40s. We're still not at that point where it's like
39. We talk about
whatever, babe.
Just kidding. I don't care.
In any case, people are looking for more traditional setups, and right now, I think it's the kids that I'm actually more worried about who are being taught like, go get yours, go get yours. I see girls racking up numbers that are crazy. But I think the thing is, ironically, I don't listen to a lot of Rich Cooper stuff, but I remember hearing a thing with Rich Cooper where he says, the things that women are messing up right now is you got to remember when you have the burden of beauty, when you're younger is when you're at your highest value. And then when you're older, beauty depreciates. That's just how that works. You get older, you don't have the same beauty of youth anymore. And what girls are taught to do now is when you're young and it's higher value, give it away for free to everybody. And then when you're old and used up, charge a premium. That's not going to work, ladies. You can't go and have sex with 200 guys for free and then expect a high-value man to take care of you from that point. It doesn't work that way. You can't take you when you're at your highest value and treat it like garbage and then say, now that it's garbage, treat it like gold. That's not going to work for any guy who's high value. Now, my men, when I talk to them, they're not looking for the hookups. It's actually kind of annoying to my men. They're like, these girls are just trying to hit and leave. They're just trying to get what they can and go. I'm actually looking for someone who also values themselves.
Or connection.
Yeah.
A deep connection.
They're looking for someone who also can be like, I don't want to be out here playing this game. And that's why I keep telling them, like, guys, don't shop in the just want a one-night stand section if you're looking for a keeper. Odds are you're going to find her when you're working on yourself, and then you figure out someone who's also been shit on, and you guys can go, I've been shit on so bad, I don't ever want to shit on somebody. And they're like, me too. I just got totally shit on, and I didn't even want to play in this game again. I don't want to play anymore. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you're shopping for a soulmate online, you might as well just go and pick up the best chick at the bar. Because your soulmate isn't going to be there. She's not going to be on Tinder or some swipe thing. She's not going to be on the hookup site. You know who is, though? People who want to hook up.
Walter. That's a good analogy. That's like picking a sandwich, everyone took a bite off the floor and then put it back on the floor again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah.
That's funny.
That is funny. Okay. Yeah, the bar is the very last place. There's a lot of...
You remember the guy who did the joke with like the butt of the bread?
Yeah.
He's like, what do you call the butt of the bread?
Oh my, that had me dying laughing. And the video's on TikTok, and he couldn't even get it out. He was laughing so hard. And he said the heel of the bread, which is typically what I call it, is called the hoe. Because everybody touches it, but nobody wants it. Ah, that's good. Okay, someone asked a question regarding how do you get over, they're in couples therapy now. They're, how do you get over an emotional affair?
I mean, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to hit you guys with some real knowledge here. We all make mistakes. All of us. You made a mistake. I make mistakes. She makes mistakes. We all make mistakes. The reason that we make a mistake is because we're supposed to learn something. Now, when you make a mistake, do you want to be held like here? She's gonna make me break out the book. All right. There's a piece in forgiveness that if you start adding in,
Yeah, it's
if you start adding in pieces to forgiveness, this goes off the rails.
he's gonna get into it, that Daddy
Okay.
Coden about patterns.
So, obvious steps. I've
Thank
done
you.
this already a couple times. I'm not going hard. The forgiveness steps are acknowledge, recognize, acceptance, agreements, choice, and grace period. You have to go through all of these steps. This is where if someone has an emotional affair and you're not going through agreements and grace period and acceptance, and you start adding in shame. This is when the forgiver will not forgive or move on. They stay and punish over and over with a new sense of authority that they now have the upper hand in the relationship and will distribute justice accordingly. This is also toxic. There is no love. There is no honor. There's no golden rule. There is no grace. When you make a mistake and the person atones and says, I learned, I choose you. I learned I want no one but you. I made this mistake to reinforce that I know there's nothing better than you, and I choose you forever. And we have agreements that if I ever betray that agreement, you have contingencies already. You'll be like, I'll leave. If you break my trust again, I will forgive. I remember there's going to be a grace period here if I'm watching you. And you have to prove like you're authentic. If you are, then we move on accordingly. But you cannot add shame and move forward. Shame, blame, and judgments only kill healing. And if you're shaming this guy for having an emotional affair, you're shaming that girl for having an emotional affair. If you're shaming, you're now using your authority as a place of weakness, because when you make a mistake, you want people to forgive you. But when they make a mistake, I will punish them every day. You are the toxic one, not them. Give grace. We make mistakes to learn. Do not shame, do not blame, do not judge. If you add those pieces, it's not them who's stopping healing, it's you. We all make mistakes. All of us. So give some damn grace, because that's what you like.
And reset new agreements.
And reset. Well, I mean, you still got to go through the forgiveness steps.
Well, yeah, after that.
But if somebody is going like they had an emotional affair, so I'm never gonna let it go. Like,
It's your choice.
that's where you're at. But what are they gonna be getting out of your relationship too? It's still a relationship. Just because you feel like you have the upper hand doesn't mean you should be punishing. And if you're a punishing leader when you have the upper hand, you're not a good leader, and you're just going to keep poisoning your relationship. It's just going to die eventually. So
Yeah.
that's what poison things do.
I gotcha.
I'm tired, my love.
Yeah.
I've been talking all day. Said that'll just send them to do it again. All right, Charles, you do not understand the stages
Thanks for
of
being here.
forgiveness. Charles, when you guys make new agreements and renew the vows and promises that you guys say, we agree we're not going to do this, this is the way that our relationship, we agree works. And if you were to do this, I'm leaving. I'm not going to do this again. And that person
welcome.
makes the choice. They make the choice to do it again. There is no argument. There is no I'm mad at you. There is no we're angry. Okay, thank you for not wasting more years of my life. You knew what this was. You made that choice. Okay. You don't want to be here. We already had the agreement. I know exactly what this is. I'm going to go. I'm not mad at you. You can't stop yourself. Clearly, you're like a dog with chicken on the floor. You're gonna go get the fucking chicken. Okay, fine. We have an agreement. Soon as you do that, I go. I'm not gonna give you more years of my life if you can't stop yourself.
Absolutely.
We have conflicting values. Our morals don't align. We've got a different point of view for what a relationship is supposed to be. If you think it means go be with everybody else, you're just with the wrong one. But there are people who are like, I love when you're with everybody else. Go be with one of them.
Yeah.
That's it. That's where it's at. Mm-hmm. So Charles, no, they don't just do it again. They do it again because you let them do it again. But if you have an agreement, well, we have an agreement.
Ryan, it says the book you just pulled out and read, the book is priceless and is over and beyond money. Let me tell.
That's my journal.
Yeah, I was gonna give you praise for that. So, let me praise you.
Okay.
Yeah. So that wasn't a book. Literally, that's what he spends his time doing. Like when I wake up in the morning, he's writing that shit out. I'm like, only you. And then I roll out of bed at like 6:00 in the morning. He's like, so I have something to share, and he has a notebook, and I was like, I need my coffee. Then we're good.
Yeah.
Then we're good.
Let me get my coffee.
Yeah. Watched all your live TikToks. Seem a little frustrated today, Rick.
Yeah,
No, he's just passionate.
Yeah, I'm a little passionate.
He's
today.
a little passionate.
Got me a little. I'm a little going.
Yeah,
engine's revved up a little.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a good mood.
I also
not in a bad
noticed
mood
too.
at all.
Yeah, that's good. No, he's not in a bad mood.
You noticed too? What? What'd you notice?
Nothing.
No, I'm a little hot. I'm also sweaty. I'm a little hot. Like I'm sweating right now.
Now you're being conceited.
Now I'm conceited. You got me.
What's the time to brush the beard?
Time to brush.
Take a break.
Time
beard
to brush
break.
the old beard. All right, fellas, get your beard
Get your
brushes
beard brusher
out.
ready. Let's all take a break.
Beard break, fellas. Beard break. Straighten it out. It feels good. You ladies will never know how good this feels. It feels lovely. It feels good. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
It is.
I know. You love it. Passion like your mom, but that's true. Genius at hands and tells me that man hasn't been through a lot and have figured out the women. Oh, let us men strive upon. What? I don't know.
Genius at hand tells me that man has been through a lot.
Oh, okay.
And may have figured out the women. They won't admit that, even if I'm right.
No, he's this guy, as annoying as it is, he's right a lot. Even though I give him, it's my job to give him a little bit of pushback because I do.
You do.
I always got something to say.
Well, you're an A-type choleric. You don't take crap from people. So even if I'm giving you the right answer, you're like, well, even if it's right, I'm not doing it. I'm doing it my way.
I'm like, let me just try it. I'm gonna do it my way, and then
Yeah.
I go back and be like, damn it, he's
Isn't
right
it working?
again every time.
I just have patience with her now. I'm like, doing the same thing again,
Oh,
babe.
listen, we got patience with each other. That's for sure.
We're not even those kind of doctors. We got so many patients.
No beard hair. I'm 46 and like a hairless minx. Not all men can grow and even goatee, and that's okay too.
It's true, man. I didn't realize how much like this thing I'm able to be neglectful for. Like people are like, man, that's awesome. I'm like, if I don't shave this, I look like a gorilla. I look like a monkey man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Advice to rid yourself of hang-ups you hold out for.
Depends on the hang-ups, bud. Very happy to talk to you about it.
She sounds like she's stubborn in her own ways. That's probably why part of you that loves her.
Part of it. Sometimes it's very frustrating.
What?
So, yeah. I mean, so it's tough when like because she's a choleric and it's going to be done her way. Sometimes she does things in a way that like isn't best for herself because she won't do it my way because I told her it's that way.
Well, I have reasons for that too. I have very specific reasons on why I do that. Growing up, I never had a guy that I could rely on for anything. I was married once before, still couldn't really rely on. Had to do everything I really had to do a lot of things myself, and so that is part of why I have that. Like I've always had to depend on myself, be there for my kids, support my kids, without necessarily someone else there. So that's why I also am sometimes stubborn because I'm like, I've been doing it this long, even though it's more difficult. let me just do it this way, and then I realized, yeah, you're right.
These days, I just let you do it. I'm like, go get it, baby. There's some nice stuff people were just saying. Can your book be used by therapists that have to use evidence-based approaches? There's some of it in there, sure. Like, because it's not all just my opinion. There's a lot of research that went into it, but I don't think I've ever had anybody try and do it that way. I'm sure there's parts of it that could be, but it wasn't really written for that. I think it's more like, think of like Tony Robbins, where like he doesn't have all these credentials that everybody thinks you have to have, but he's probably one of the best at what he does. And so it's one of those things where like he can give you the right answer for what you need. Like, think of this, like a mechanic who's been working on cars for like 30 or 40 years and just knows cars, but didn't go
Well,
and do all of those, like all of the multiple certifications, but he can fix literally any car. Would you say this guy's not valuable because he doesn't have like the evidence-based approach thing written after every paragraph? It wasn't meant to be a PhD paper. It's meant to help.
yeah.
And so that's I wouldn't suggest it would probably be used that way, but it could be if you really wanted to use parts of it that has research done. Let's see. Somebody just ordered the book. Was it Painful Bliss? 79. Thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks for ordering the book. And reach out. Let me know how you like it and send some stuff. It'd be cool. Love all your videos. Thank you for the advice and perspective. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Hey, baby, I'm tired. Let's go to bed.
All right.
You ready?
Well, I don't know if it's 9:30.
Yeah, we've been.
Sounds good.
I just did. I just did a 2-hour call. We just did 2.5 hours on this. Like, been hustling all day. I'm pretty tired, babe.
Let's go.
All right. So, any case,
Thanks
thank
for
you
being
guys
here,
for
you
hanging
guys.
with us.
Appreciate you all.
Appreciate you. Yeah, if you guys will see in the link at the top, just go ahead and book some time. You can also book some time with Eddie too right now. I jump on some of those calls with him when I've got time to, but if you go in, you'll see the calendar. Underneath the calendar is a link that says book more times. We're booked out. I'm booked out for 2 months, but he's just opened up some times for this month, so you can get in like right away. And he's the best. If you want to know more about Eddie, like who's that guy, check out the podcast stuff that we have on the page. It's on the link at the top. And check out some of the stuff, the way that him and I interact. And I think that it'll give you a good idea of what kind of guy he is. And that way you can go like, all right, yeah, this would be a cool guy to hang out with. So there's a lot of good value there, stuff that you guys can learn. And the guys that I know who have checked out both of those, they've been like, man, you guys really go in. So it's pretty fun to see a couple people with our crazy brains tear stuff open and see what's inside. So any case, I'm going to snuggle you. I'm ready for bed. I hope you guys are ready for bed, and I hope that you guys get some snuggles too. So, any case, let's go to bed.
All right. Sounds good. Have a good night,
Good night,
you guys.
everybody.